You found us.
Welcome to Emergency Protocol, a podcast for people who are stressy and depressy.
We are your hosts,
Denise.
and Jackie Freed. That's my mama.
And that's my baby.
We are sharing our 12 steps reimagined for today's society.
And our bumpy, pothole-ridden spiritual paths.
And we're bringing you along for the ride.
This is us doing the actual work.
When the shit hits the fan, you know it's time for
Emergency Protocol. Hi.
Hello.
So you're in snowy St. Louis?
I am. It is, starting to come down. We're in that cold snap. I don't know if that's what it's called. I feel like I've heard that. There's a winter storm happening. Yes.
There's a winter storm that has caused
We're at
7 degrees.
Yes. Yeah. And people got a little bit crazy, apparently. I saw online, some of the grocery stores looked a little empty. And I'm like, it's maximum 3 days, I think. But last year they have trauma from last year. Last year, apparently some of the roads didn't get cleared until 6 days after the snow. So I think the situation's a little different now, but I also live near two kind of major roads that I think are a higher priority for maintenance.
Got it.
There's probably a lot of residential streets that are not as high priority and also just harder to get to because they're on a one-way street or they're narrower. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're hunkered down. We've got all of our essentials.
I saw a funny video on Instagram last night, which was I guess those plant-based people aren't worried because it was wiped out shelves of everything. There was 3 apples left. All the rest of the produce was gone. And the freaking plant-based whatever section's fully stocked. You can go get all the tempeh you want and you'll be okay. So just, if things get bad, know that you can hit up the whatever Morningstar or whatever that brand is. Fake sausage situation and stock up. So, just saying, things get bad. Go to the vegan section of your local grocery store and there might be some food left.
Some more protein. Yeah. Sheesh. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we had our Saturday morning meeting before we're recording and we were on step 10. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, the 12 steps for everyone. So step 10 is we maintain a daily practice of reflection, amends, and forgiveness. We were talking before now about I had shared in our meeting about going to a 12-step meeting this week, and they started the meeting with a 1 minute or even less reflection of your last drink or use or whatever it was that you were doing, just to kind of bring everybody back to, what it was like. Often the structure of the meeting is what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now as a kind of reference of who I was, what happened, and now how am I living, substance free kind of thing. And not just substance free, but just different. And so the thing about that last, oh my God, I'm just going to tell you want to hear what my last one was?
You want to share it?
Oh my God. I guess should I share it? I think I should.
Have to.
I think I will share it because people are, again, I'm going to look at Jackie's maybe you don't want to share it. I'm going to share.
We haven't discussed this before, so.
We haven't discussed this before, but I'm going to share it for people who are there's no fucking way you were like that. Because I'm so who I am now and they only know me as me now. So when I was
It's not going to get you fired.
This was 40 years ago.
Okay. Well,
do you think I could get
I
fired?
don't know what the statute of limitations
I need to keep
is.
my job.
That's what's so tricky.
I need to keep my job. But
Okay,
you know
we'll
what?
maybe table that.
No, I'm going to say it because I feel like people need a reference point of how freaking different, like, and powerful this is.
Sure.
So my last time I went out, I was already dating your dad because I met him in a 12-step meeting, but I wasn't staying sober. I was going in and out.
Which is common. Very normal.
So I decide that I'm going to go to the ex-boyfriend cocaine dealer's house, and I helped myself to his keys because he had to deadbolt his closet to keep me away from his stash. And I basically grabbed a napkin and put a bunch of cocaine in it and wrapped it up and put it in my pocket. Then I found my friend who is now homeless, living in a van behind what was then Boys Market, is now Ralph's on Lincoln Boulevard, right next to your old apartment. The Lincoln Place apartments.
Oh, no wonder you didn't want me moving there.
Right? And he's living in his van, and we proceed to smoke this cocaine, which was then called freebasing.
Smoking.
Yeah, because my nose was kind of messed up from snorting it for so long. That smoking was a better vehicle. And then, because my paranoia was so high, I started peeking out the window of the van, thinking my new sober boyfriend was gonna come find me. And like
pre-Apple AirTag days.
Yes. Please.
He would have needed like a private investigator to find you, to trail you.
Right. But I thought in my paranoia, he's going to come find me in this van. And my relationship with my friend was not a sexual relationship. And, you know, it was just like, this was my using buddy. And that next day, I fessed up to my sponsor. I fessed up to your dad, and he was like, maybe you need to go do some more. Maybe you need to do heroin. Like, maybe you haven't like hit your bottom yet. And I was like, ooh, I don't want to do I don't want to do that. And then I told the sponsor I was willing to do whatever she said. And I did whatever she said. Like, I just surrendered to doing what I was told to do. And that meant I was going to 2 meetings a day when I wasn't working, 1 meeting a day when I was. And I had a strict schedule. It wasn't like I'm going to willy-nilly. I was like going to this meeting on this day. Every day there was the meeting I was going to that established my consistency so that people could get to know me. And I also was asked to get 2 commitments at a meeting. So which a commitment at a 12-step meeting could be anything from being a greeter at the door to being a secretary of the meeting, which is kind of organizing and getting the speakers and the formats and making sure it all runs on time, to the treasurer, person who brings the coffee, the person who brings a cake or chips for celebration of time milestones, somebody who brings literature, somebody who does hospital and institution panels. There's all kinds of ways to be of service. Somebody who sets up the room, somebody who cleans up the room, speaker water, there's all so many different ways that you can show up to feel like you're a part of the group that is responsible for the meetings happening. And that kind of singular commitment actually kept me going to meetings even when I wasn't sober. Because I would sometimes smoke weed before I went to a meeting, and then I'd have some mints and some eye drops and go to the meeting, pretend I was sober.
Yeah, they totally wouldn't know.
No, not even, no way. I didn't smell like weed. No, nobody did know. You're self-proclaimed
Yeah.
sober, right? Nobody tests you.
Or they
Nobody.
did and they didn't say
Well,
anything. Because,
because
like, what are
the
they going to do? Call you out
no,
when you
because
walk
the
in?
the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, whatever 12
Mm.
step that is. It's a desire to stop it. You don't have to be stopped to go. Just
Yeah.
like you want to stop doing what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm.
the cool part about this meeting is it pulls me back to that state of hopelessness. Like
Mm.
that my life was so out of like, can you like I was so out of control. I was so addicted. I didn't know how to not do that. I didn't know how to stop and stay stopped and then
Mm.
progress on a new life path.
Mm-hmm.
And so by bringing everybody back to that moment of
Mm-hmm.
like, fuck, it was like there's a term for it they call in the book called pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization. It's just that place where you just feel so ick. I guess
Mm.
today's word would be the ick.
Mm.
Maybe that's the word, maybe that's not the word, but it's just that place where you just don't you feel so like what the fuck happened to my life? Like
Mm.
what happened to me?
Mm.
And there's like it that kind of state of like hopelessness. Like what,
Mm-hmm.
And so by going to these meetings and setting up this schedule and setting up this kind of discipline that I didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there was something really beautiful about being welcomed to a place when you're in that
Mm.
state of like
Yeah.
feeling so bad about yourself and your life and your decisions and just the
Yeah.
state of where you're at, and having people saying, "Oh, we're so glad to see you again. Glad you made it back." Oh,
Mm.
I wasn't, or they call on you, they ask for your number and they call during the week and see if you're okay, or, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to be there on Tuesday?" And it felt like really nice to be welcome,
Mm.
even in the state I was in.
Yeah.
Right. And we were talking about how nice it is to meet in person versus our Zoom meeting, and how we might need to not transition, but add
Mm-hmm.
a space for people to come together and meet down the road.
Yeah.
Plate's a little full right now, but down the road, there might be a
Mm-hmm.
place for us to gather. So I say that, please don't fire me. It was 40 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
almost
You've
40 years ago.
definitely made up for it by now.
I am not the same person I was. And
Mm-hmm.
that's like the thing. It's like I am not the same person I was. I am
No.
so responsible in like the way I conduct my life and the relationships that I've built, and I went to dinner last
Mm.
night with these women I met when you were in kindergarten. We've been seeing each other for
Mm.
25 years. That's a like I have, and that's just one fraction of my life and groups
Mm.
of people that maintain relationship
Mm-hmm.
with, and so
Yeah.
it's just remarkable to me that someone like me, and there's millions like me in that state
Mm-hmm.
of where I was, that I could have the life that I have today. That is so
Yeah.
open and so full of promise and so fulfilling and
Mm.
hopeful, even in with all the shit that's going on in our world right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's remarkable to me that it's even a possibility,
Mm.
because really by this time, if I had kept going, I probably would be dead, just because your
Mm-hmm.
body can't take that kind of abuse, or just like living a very sad life, like
Mm-hmm.
a very small and sad life.
Yeah.
Oof.
Mm.
Feels like a different lifetime. Like I lived two
Mm.
different lives.
Where are you feeling it in your body right now?
when I think about the person I was, I get
Mm.
tight right here in my, like the top of my chest. Cause it's just like, I'm so sad for that young girl who
Yeah.
just didn't know where to find her way. And then
Mm.
I just feel like teary-eyed for the gratitude that I did find my way and did,
Mhm.
like, I got to have you and your sister, and like I got to have this whole life with this family and
Yeah.
friends and a career and a house, and like, what?
Yeah.
There was no way that that girl could be this girl.
Mm.
There was, but it's like one little step on top of another little step on top of
Mhm.
another little step over time
Mhm.
really paid off.
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
the fact that I didn't let this go, right? Because
Mm.
that's the other thing, by not reflecting and remembering what it was like, many people go back because there's that illusion that I can control and enjoy it now. I've been clean now for decades,
Mhm.
and I can go back and I can do it now.
Mm.
I can manage it. It won't be like last time. And
Mm.
so often people will go out with a lot of time. What I notice is, what they when they have decades is
Mhm.
something happens where maybe they have to have surgery, or they have to have something where they need then some pain medication.
Yeah.
And that pain medication leads them off the path
Yeah.
in a very slow and cunning way until it's like, oh, back into addiction. And
Mm.
then it's hard, very hard for people to come back because the ego is doesn't want to come back and
Mhm.
admit it. And just physically, it's very hard to stop when
Yeah.
you're just, that craving is in you and you cannot of your own free will stop ingesting whatever it is that's killing you. It's so crazy. Like,
Yeah.
so crazy. So,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm so afraid of, like, the drinks that say whatever they adaptogen. Like, I don't know how, I'm just so afraid of
Yeah.
anything that takes me out of myself, that I'm like, I don't know if it's worth giving up my life for a beverage, right?
Mm.
Like, I don't think it's worth it. I'll just go meditate for a minute. Like, I'll find another way to decompress and
Yeah.
de-escalate my nervous system that won't potentially fucking take a wrecking ball to my life. And
Right.
so, anyway, yeah. So that's,
Mhm.
and so what I want you to talk about, because now I've talked about what I want to talk about, I'd love for you to talk about what it was like for you to want to do these steps without having that addiction. And I
Mhm.
don't know, without, because sober people go, well, how are these 12 steps for everyone when they're not faced with that, like, impending death
Mm.
that is so
Yeah.
right around the corner? Because especially now with fentanyl, people would literally
Mhm.
can ingest something they think is one thing and just die from fentanyl,
Right.
right? So there's that Russian roulette they're playing every time. So I'd love to hear how you, like, what was your gift of desperation? Like, how did it manifest? I don't know if it's desperation or what.
Yeah. I think it's kind of parallel in interesting ways because I think especially with this like most recent go around of depression, which I think lasted much longer than I was aware of, kind of like the first time where it had begun much sooner than I was aware of it. Part of it was just like your inspiration to do this project, right? And kind of how that came about, right? It was like, oh, this is a cool thing that I get to do with my mom and it's super interesting and like, sure, why not? I'll try things, right? I like to work on myself. I like to try new things. It's very like intellectually stimulating. So that was part of it, right? It was just like the spirit of inquiry. And then I don't know that it's hard, like I don't know that I can separate this out from all the other things that I was doing to work on my mental health over the last few years. But like I think eventually I just reached a point where I felt like it was like a rock in a hard place. It was like, I don't want to keep feeling like this and having these thoughts and then not acting on them, but I'm also not going to act on them, right? And so, like, something has to change, right? And there's a lot of comfort, I think, in being able to show up like this. Like, first of all, it's free. So when I was, making not that much money and like couldn't pay for weekly therapy, like it's not an alternative, but it is another type of healing space. So I think having that, just having a place to go, right, the consistency of it, and also just a reason to be together in person. Before the pandemic, I was involved in this like entrepreneur group that would meet every week for like a month period, and then it would shift to a different location. The people would slightly change. Obviously, that stopped during COVID. My friend group kind of dissolved post-pandemic, right? Because everybody just got pulled in all these different directions, as happens in life when you have adult friends and you're in a city where it's a lot of people from a lot of different places. That was part of it. Part of it was, I've done CBT therapy. I've done like just kind of psychodynamic, like talk therapy. And this is approaching the work in a very different way, I think. The structure of it, like, very clearly kind of outlines steps and like the way that they kind of domino into each other, I think is really useful. And I'm also at a time where like religion and like even like culturally religious traditions have also kind of fallen away due to the older people in our family passing away. And then it's kind of like who picks up the torch for hosting and organizing everybody and all of that. We're in this like generational handoff. And so that element of like tradition and like spirituality was not as present either. And so this kind of fills that gap as well, right? Where I could create time to think about my understanding of like the universe and things bigger than myself. So it's not really an answer, I guess, but it's kind of all of the things, right? It's like, I made a decision to try to like work on this stuff. And I had the prior wisdom of having kind of clawed my way out of something like this before. So I knew it was going to suck, right? Like when you get your first ear piercing done, you know how much it's going to hurt when they go to do the second one because you're already aware, right? And like the adrenaline's kind of like worn off and you're just like, ah. Like I knew it was going to suck, right? And I didn't know what it was necessarily going to look like to find a path to healing. Also, my therapist went on maternity leave. So that was another aspect of it, right? So it's just kind of like all of these combinations, like the structures that I had in place kind of all, I don't want to say fell apart because that feels too dramatic, but just like shifted, right? And so I had to create new scaffolding, and this was part of that scaffolding. And I also reached out to psychiatry. I started doing therapy again, right? I think that's part of it. And also kind of similar, we were in the meeting earlier too. I was talking about this book that I'm reading called Safe, which is about attachment theory. And there's kind of like a embodied place where these feelings live, right? And there's like it takes conscious work to change that. So I can think about getting better all I want, but like my body needs to relearn safety in order to get better. And so that's what I was really also trying to focus on, right? And I think after listening to this book, part of the safety is also in coming to a group, sharing whatever needs to come up, and then still being welcomed back into that group that teaches my body safety. So I can talk about hard things and be mad or sad or whatever. And it's okay to feel that way because I can expect the consistency of people showing up for me every week.
Right.
There we go. I finally came full circle with it. That's kind of what I was trying to explain earlier. Right?
Yeah. And, when you were sharing that, I thought of this other thing that we say, which is like, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, it doesn't matter what the sick or the tired is, or the
Yeah.
level of the sick and tired is. It's just like when you've had it, like
Yeah.
I just don't want to do this way anymore, whatever this
Yeah.
is. And so, everybody has their own bottom of where that is. Some people
Mm-hmm.
have very high level bottoms where they were just like not feeling in control of their drinking, right? Or like they
Yeah.
just, had too many glasses a week or whatever. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's people like me. And then there's people who like ended up on Skid Row doing heroin, right? There's people who are out there doing fentanyl. There's people who are depressed and on the scale of that, right? Are
Mm-hmm.
are experiencing anxiety and on the scale of that.
Yeah.
And there's something that is anxiety reducing in the sharing of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I am admitting to all these people in this room that
Mm-hmm.
I'm like anxious and feel socially awkward and I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like I'm a part of, and I'm
Yeah.
afraid. And then people will come up to me afterwards and say, I'm also afraid. I'm also
Mm-hmm.
feeling awkward. Want to go grab some coffee? Or everybody goes to grab coffee afterwards, which was so cool this meeting. Like they all go and grab a meal afterwards and take over this
Yeah.
patio. And it was like, oh, so this like then these other kind of connections happen outside of that vulnerable space where you're in this space that has the designated space to share this stuff. And
Yeah.
then afterwards, you can go and build these other connections where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, they also give a surf report at this meeting, which I think is fucking crazy. And I
That's
love it.
cute.
And it's like, okay, you surf, I surf. Oh,
Mhm.
you go to this sauna place. I love this sauna place. Or you like
Yeah.
this, or I like that, or I'm looking for a job. Do you know anybody who's hiring? Or I need to
Yeah.
move. I need a roommate. There's all these other things that kind
Mm-hmm.
of connect everybody in a way that is helpful, and
It's like
there's
a
not,
third. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
it's
It's
a
like a
third
third
space.
space, but within a third space almost.
Yes.
Right? Because you have the container of the meeting, and then this other little thing happens. And it's kind of like the best parts of college, I think. Since I'm back in this setting, I'm reflecting
Yes.
on this a lot as well, where most of the people that you're in most regular communication with, your friends, are like in the dining hall, right? Like that's a very singular thing that doesn't really exist anymore, right? Because
Right.
in college or university, usually like the schools are a bit bigger than high or not. I guess it could change, but like you just have more freedom and you're kind of grouped together by interest. And so you have a little bit more choice in who you befriend. And that kind of goes away again once you enter the workforce because
Yeah.
you're just with whoever's there and you're kind of unified by skills or kind of interests, but like they're not necessarily your people in the way that like you know that somebody who is in your psych class is also like going to like drawing club or whatever,
Right.
right? Yeah. So it's kind of interesting.
So yay for third spaces.
Yay for third
And I think
spaces.
people are craving those third spaces, right? Not everybody
Mhm.
wants to be as vulnerable as we're talking about, but they
Yeah.
are meeting for like drawing and wine sipping at, these bars that, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Or creative things, or
Yeah.
just showing up like, one lady posted online she was doing a like a bakery walk like in Pasadena,
Cute.
and like 60 people showed up to do this like
That's
bakery
awesome.
hopping thing, and it's like
Mhm.
she didn't think anybody was going to show up, and like this
Yeah.
whole group of people showed up, and she posted her little map for people who didn't get to do it the first time.
Cute.
And it's like I think people are craving those third spaces, and they will make bonds there, but I think the
Hmm.
way, because of the vulnerability that we need to have in order to share this kind of work, it
Yeah.
happens much faster because it's like, oh, I'm connecting with
Hmm.
your deep stuff
Yeah.
like right out of the gate, and accepting you with that, right? Like I know that about you and I still want to know you. Right?
Yeah.
And that is like going back to that book, safe, right? Like that feels safe now because I just shared this funky shit about myself and you still want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Actually, you might want to talk to me more.
Right. Because you also have funky
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I just love this. I love this stuff. I could talk about it all day.
Yeah.
Because, it's fascinating to me. The human condition is fascinating to me. I think I would have been a sociologist. Do you think I would have been a sociologist if I wasn't in real estate?
I think you still should be, but that's just me. Anyway, who knows what the future is going to bring? Frieden Daughters Therapy Co. No, I'm just kidding. Frieden Mother.
Frieden Daughter, Therapy Co. and veterinary services.
Yeah. Oh, don't drag Livy into it.
Bring your cat. Bring your cat, ladies.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. That's real, though. I think again, we love our girl Brene Brown, right?
Yes.
The vulnerability piece, too. Like, because these third spaces are kind of disappearing, right? Like, there's still the library, but there aren't a lot of places that are free. I think a lot of people tried to fill that gap by offering free things or coordinating free things. And then they got like big enough that it was taking so much time that they had to be compensated in order to do it. Right. So like that's kind of how things flow, or else it just trickled out. Right. And kind of died off. And so I've been trying to like turn my place into a third space by doing like a home cafe, which is different than just having somebody over for coffee. Right. It feels very different. I'm like, I made a little fake menu and whatever. Yeah. And I'm going to host a Crafternoon next month.
Oh.
Where I was like, here's what I have. You're welcome to partake, or you can bring your own craft if you're knitting a scarf or whatever, right?
Right.
And a bunch of people RSVP'd, which I was not expecting. But I'm practicing the vulnerability of like welcoming people into my space, which I do think is very cozy and cute, but is like not necessarily like Pinterest worthy, right? And definitely not clean enough ever, but like I'm still gonna do it because I've done it twice now and people still keep showing up.
Yeah.
So
because nobody lives in a perfect house. I mean, some of my friends do live in perfect houses because they just like their houses that way. I have aspired to that, and that's not what I live like, but that's okay. Emergency protocol in over here.
Emergency protocol. Yes. And there's no shame in that, right? I'm like, and also, this is so funny. One thing that I started doing, because like, I know not everybody's like this, but I'm super nosy. I'm not going to go like snooping through people's things, but like if the door's open, like I will peek, right? Like I'm not going to open somebody's cabinet, but if the cabinet's open, like I'm just going to be like, interesting. Right? Full disclosure, like I'm a curious person. I like to know things about people. But like I know some of my friends are like that. And so when they've started coming over, like I opened my fridge once during home cafe and somebody commented on my fridge. And so I just like opened my fridge up and I was like, this is what my fridge looks like. And then next time I had friends over for like a little mini crafternoon, I was like, yeah, girl, like get in my shit. Go look in my pantry, like open my bathroom, go look in my closet. Like I think that it's helpful to see how other people do things because it can be illuminating into like, oh, there's another way that I was never taught that I could be doing things, or like I didn't know this was possible, or you're just like me, like cool, right? So yeah.
Since you said that, I want you to talk about what you did to your fridge, just in case people are.
Yeah, I think I've talked about this before. It's the best system that I found so far. I'm wasting way less produce, but instead of having all of my like condiments and drinks on the door, I've moved my condiments into one of the pulley drawers because that's like the least visible space. And so those items are also the longest lasting, and I just know that they're there. It's like mayo, jam, maple syrup, miso, like all of those types of things, right? That are just like constants. Those all live in that space. And then on the door is where I put like fresh herbs, or I'll put like vegetables that I need to use more frequently. And then I still have cheese drawer because that's to me a fixed I always have cheese. It's a fixed category. You might not have a fixed cheese category in your brain. But then the bottom shelf, I have like drinks on one side, which I never used to do. But then I realized that if I have canned drinks, I might drink more liquids in general. So I started buying canned drinks more. And then on the right side, I have eggs because if the eggs ever break or something happens, like they're not going to get on everything else that's down below. And then middle shelf is like food that's been prepared that needs to be eaten or like stuff like yogurt, right? That is going to go bad. And then top shelf is produce, like and fruit. And so having that kind of like organizational system, it keeps things more visible. I also tried to like, I always say decant, but I think it's recant. Like if something's in a package, I try to put it into a clear container so that I can see it better. And that's really helped me with like baked stuff or like baking supplies. Because I can be like, oh, there's the sugar, right? I know how much brown sugar I have, as opposed to like, here's this mystery box or bag.
Right. I think I did that with like the rice crackers that I open and then the container. Usually I would put it in a Ziploc baggie, but now you are in my brain and I'm like, okay, what if I just take those out and put them in one of your big RE jars and then the crackers actually stay fresher and are in a jar that I see and can go, oh, I think I'm not hungry enough to have a whole full on dinner, but I might just make some cheese and crackers. Yeah, cheese and crackers and a couple of pieces of apple and call it a night, right? So yeah, I've
crackers, chips, popcorn, anything that's like a small crunchy thing that gets soggy, put it in an airtight container.
Yeah. A glass.
And then you're going to eat it.
Glass one. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway.
Yay. Look at us.
Look at us eating the food we bought. Because then I get mad that I buy this food and then it's gone bad. And then I'm being wasteful. So then it's like another thing to feel bad about, right? So I keep trying to find ways to not feel bad about myself. Go ahead.
Yes, I have another hack for this, which I started doing. When I come home from the grocery store, I don't sit down. If I sit down, if my butt touches the couch, I'm done. I can't do anything. It's over. So I come home from the grocery store. I pull everything out. I wash all of my produce and fruit and veg. I prep it all. And then if I know that I'm going to be cooking with it, like I was going to roast some vegetables, but I wanted some for something else. So I like cut up the beets and then I just put the rest in a container and they were already cut. So I had to do all the prep was done. But washing the produce as soon as I got there forced me to take it out of the bag and make it more visible and decide where it's going to go. Because if I left stuff in the little, I don't really use those plastic bags. I have like fabric ones, but still, even in the fabric bags, I forget about them. Like I need stuff visible.
Well, as long as we're talking about that stuff, first thing in the morning, get up, go pee, brush my teeth, make my bed, then coffee. Like I do not get to leave my bedroom space until the bed's made.
How does that work? Oh, okay.
What do you mean? How does it work? Go to the bathroom. Brush my teeth. Make my bed. Then I go make my coffee.
Yeah, but then don't you usually go back to your bed and you scroll?
Yeah, but it's all made. It's all made, and
so
I sit on top, and I have my little blankie. Someone gave me.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, David. I don't think you listened, but David gave me and his wife gave me a Lola blanket, which is like a weighted, furry, delicious blanket. And it's like one of those blankets you just find yourself stroking like a cat. It's so soft and fluffy and weighted, but not heavy. And it's just my new favorite little thing. I also have those other blankets that are light and fluffy that I forget the name, but they're also that I use forever and I've given out to you and all my friends.
Oh forever. Yeah, Turkish tea.
Yeah, the Turkish tea. Oh yeah, fleece lined
you mean
kiln.
This?
Yes. I love those blankets.
Yeah.
But I have a new blanket that's like my new blankie that's super cozy. And so, I go back and I sit in there, I drink my coffee. I have my I don't do my noise canceling headphones anymore.
Mm.
So before, when I started doing meditation, I would put on the noise canceling headphones when there was everybody still living in the house. So it was their signal to know that I was in the middle of a meditation. Don't bother me. That was my like physical visual for the outside
It was your
world.
recording light on.
Yes, it's like, I'm busy. Please don't ask mom for anything. Right. And so now I just use the regular little AirPods because I don't need to signal everybody. But yeah, I go back and do my morning stuff
Okay.
back in my bedroom, but on top of a made bed.
Interesting.
Then I fluff it up again before I leave, just because whatever, I'm weird. But it feels good because I never used to make my bed. And now I get a lot of satisfaction out of having a made bed and coming home to a made bed and seeing the bed made. It feels like a good thing. I think somebody even, I don't even remember who it was, some
It was a military
army
guy who
guy
gave
said,
like a
make your
college
bed.
speech.
Yeah. And it's true. But I was doing that already as part of like my sobriety thing. The lady who my sponsor was like, okay, Monday you're going to go to this meeting, which was a step study, which where I was learning what these steps were and how people worked them. Because they're just, when you read them, it's like, okay, but now what? What do I do with that? How does that manifest? And then Tuesday night, oh wait, no, Monday night, I went to a 6:30 meeting after work, 6:30 to 7:30, and then I had to go home, clean my room. I was living at home again, clean my room and do my laundry. That was Monday. Tuesday, step study. So learn how to do these things. Wednesday, she made me go to a women's stag, and I was like, "Ugh, I don't like women. I don't want to do women. I'm a boys girl. I like to use with the boys. I like to hang with the boys. I like to joke with the boys. I basically am a teenage boy with my sense of humor." And then she was like, "No, you're going to go hang with the women." Because I was also very flirty and I was like, like looking for attention in the wrongest kind of ways. And then Thursday night, I went to a big giant meeting that's still there in Brentwood. And she told me because I was so afraid of people, that I had to wait. Because right before the meeting starts, they say, if you have an empty seat next to you, raise your hand. So I had to wait and not save a seat. Because if people go to meetings, they save seats, they put little things down where they're going to sit. And so that's how you save your seat. So I had to wait for somebody to put their hand up, and I'd go sit next to them. And then I was to introduce myself and shake their hands and look them in the eye and say, "Hi, my name is Denise," and learn how to introduce myself and build a social whatever structure. And then what did I see? That's Thursday night. Friday night, I went to kind of a socials type of meeting. Saturday morning, women's stag. Saturday night, big social meeting. And oftentimes a bunch of us would go out dancing afterwards.
Fun.
Because I was 20 years old. I mean, well, yeah, the first year I had to find a club that would let a 20-year-old in, but then, 21. And so a big group of us would go, like we wanted to still find ways to have fun and not drink together, right? So we would still go to this club that had alcohol, but you felt safe it going as a group together. And then Sunday morning, a women's stag, Sunday night, another meeting. Like it was structured. So I didn't have a lot of time to spin out and think about, because you get at nighttime, I think I would get lonely and I would start thinking and I would start being weird and like, I don't have any friends and I don't have a life and blah, 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 blah. And so that meeting, and then oftentimes those meetings would have like people saying, let's go grab a bite afterwards. I was broke, but I would go, maybe I could afford a coffee because coffee wasn't $4 then.
Yeah.
Or even however much it is now. It's like
$8.
$6, $8. It was like $2, which I still couldn't afford.
Yeah.
Right. But we would go to this deli and they put free pickles on the table and I would like snack on the pickles and have some water. And like, they were ordering stuff. So I'd just like do what I had to do until I started making enough money to actually buy myself something, anyway. Yeah.
I feel like we should keep talking about this in terms of like routines and also like reparenting and safety and attachment styles and how that fits into like rebuilding your life. Because that happens when you're getting mentally well and also when you're getting sober.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, people. That's our plan for next week.
We did forget to talk about the 4 things that you asked me to do a while ago, which I don't think I've done, but it was, you were like, oh, I didn't take my medication. So if you remember what those are, I did watch 2 episodes of Heated Rivalry.
Oh my God.
I will watch the rest this week and report back.
Yes.
I did send it to my friend. I said, so Jackie told me we have to watch this. And Sally said, text me, this is just porn. And I was like, I think you have to keep watching.
Going. You got to go all the way to the end.
So anyway,
go all the way to the end.
Yeah. So
fabulous.
TBD.
Okay. I don't even remember what the other things were. I guess
I don't know.
To go back.
We'll have to listen to our own episode and find out what they were. All right, if you're out there, or West will remember. West, tell us what they were. Okay.
Funny. All right.
Drink your water. Yes. You're a miracle.
You're a miracle.
Please join us online on Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. We are meeting. Yes. It's just us and whoever wants to show up. And we're talking about these steps and how they are manifesting in our lives. And everyone is welcome. It's you
don't have to talk.
You don't have to talk, and you don't even have to be on camera. You could just come and listen anonymously. Just don't even put your name in the Zoom. Just like come.
Yeah.
So
if you want a place to show up.
Yeah.
10 a.m. PST.
Yes, 10 a.m. PST. Saturdays. We switched it from Sundays to Saturdays. Yes. And yeah, drink your water. You're a miracle.
You're a miracle.
If you're not driving, close your eyes. Think about what you're grateful for. Take a deep breath in and exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay.
Woohoo.
See you next time.
See you next time.
We want to hear from you.
Find us on Instagram and TikTok at 12 Steps for Everyone. That's at the number 12 Steps for Everyone.
Please like and follow us. You can also send us topics you want us to dig into or follow-up questions from each episode.
And if you know someone who would enjoy or benefit from our conversations, please feel free to share this with them. All are welcome here.